My friends, let's hang out. Let's do a reading. So yesterday I said, let's hang out. And a couple of you said they liked that, or you liked that idea. So let's hang out together for a bit. So this is going to be a love reading for Divine Feminine. And we're going to be looking at you and your person. And once again, I have a bunch of downloads to go over. First, for all of you who mentioned that you liked Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, you're my people. That's such a good movie. Somebody was like, it is a little sexist. Yeah, it is. But that's what makes it kind of funny. That's what I meant about how it's kind of funny. But yeah, a couple of you mentioned that the barn raising scene was your favorite scene. Same. There's something about that scene that my mom told me. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, guess it doesn't matter. So when I woke up this morning, there was a lot of fog. Maybe you saw the photo that I posted. But there was a lot of fog outside. And I started thinking about that, about fog and how you can't see through the fog sometimes because it's so thick. And it reminded me of like illusions or the moon card, uncertainty, but then things become clear. The fog lifts. And then when I went outside, the sun was shining through the trees and you could see the rays of light through the fog. And it was so beautiful. There's beautiful moments like that all around us all the time. It's just a lot of us are conditioned not to see them. I'm hearing the rat race. We don't really notice those things, but they're there. And just the way once the sun started shining, the fog lifted. So I was hearing clarity or breakthrough. So maybe this reading is meant to bring you clarity. I was also seeing a deer. I didn't actually see a deer, but once I saw that outside after I took that picture, I took some time to sit there and meditate, and that's when my downloads started happening. Again, I have another full page of downloads. And keep in mind that not all of these downloads will resonate with you, but the reading could still resonate. But I was seeing a deer, and I was hearing Divine Feminine. A deer represents gentleness, peace, unconditional love, and the need to embrace these qualities. And I kept hearing Divine Feminine, so maybe you're struggling with your Divine Feminine energy. And a lot of people, Mr. Crow is here. A lot of people will say they're in Divine Feminine energy, but then I always talk about it. It's an energetic thing. So you can say you're in Divine Feminine energy all you want. It doesn't mean you're in Divine Feminine energy. Divine Feminine energy, it's being okay with the stillness. It's releasing control. It's releasing the negative thoughts. It's not holding resentment against your person. Or anybody really. It's about embracing the qualities of gentleness, peace, unconditional love, the deer. And then I found a Canadian goose feather. And it is about the time where the Canadian geese start migrating. Movies. Have you ever seen Fly Away Home? I love that movie. Anna Paquin, the name Anna could be symbolic. I think it was filmed in Canada too, or it took place in Canada. Who's in that? Jeff Daniels? Anna Paquin? But the Canadian goose or Canadian geese represent spiritual journeys, long journeys, because when you think about the journey a Canadian goose has to take to migrate, it's a very long journey. Anyway, so I was thinking about that as well, or I wrote that down. So perhaps embracing the long journey, Divine Feminine, it's a long journey. Anyway, Canadian goose feather. I'm just going to pet it. I was also hearing the song Tell Me Something Good, which is such a random song to hear. I can't even think of the lyrics. Tell me something good. Tell me that you love me or want me. So maybe you're hoping this person is going to tell you something good. I was also, when I was out there, a nuthatch approached me and it didn't seem afraid of me at all. And a nuthatch represents new perspectives or seeing things from a different perspective, hanged man energy. And then For some reason, I was seeing one of those, I think it's called a mosaic, where when you're looking at it up close, you can't see what it is. I'm talking about an image. They make them of celebrities sometimes or other things, and when you're looking at them up close, that's interesting. Now I'm having a memory of seeing one in a mall somewhere. Anyway, when you're looking at it up close, you can't see what it's supposed to be, but when you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you can see what the mosaic is supposed to be, if that's even the right word. Collage? I don't know. So new perspective, taking a step back, seeing the bigger picture. Fog, breakthrough, light. I got the initials TGSEFPBACKMNR. I was also hearing the names, and these, again, they're not going to resonate with everyone, and it could be a variation of the names. So like Peter or Pete, Matt or Matthew, Catherine, Kathy, Kathleen, Nick, Nicholas, Samantha, Sammy, Samwise, Sam, Charlie, Charles, Charlene. All right, so have you ever put on, I'm not sure if this is something you do. This is something that I learned from Naked Moon. It's called Angel Shuffle. And you go to whatever music app you use. I use Spotify. And you play a random song. Sometimes I'll pick like a playlist, or not one of mine, but like a random playlist, and I'll hit shuffle, or like I'll hit shuffle and then I'll hit skip ahead a random amount of times and I'll stop on a song. So maybe you should try that, because there could be a message in the song that finds you. I was hearing Angel Shuffle while I was meditating. So I did that on my phone. And Find Me by Forrest Black started playing. And the first time I listened to that, one of you recommended that song, and I was in tears listening to it. But then after that finished playing, another one by Forrest Black started playing, and I had never heard of it before. And it's called The Most Beautiful Thought by Forrest Black. So the name Forrest could be symbolic. I was also wearing forest green, so forest could be symbolic. So I'm going to mention a few songs. They're like, it's spoken poetry with music in the background, that if you feel called to look up and listen, please do so. You don't have to. Definitely Find Me by Forrest Black. My Personal Sunset by Miles Carter. This Is Goodbye, Beautiful Human by Ines or Illness. I don't know. I'll spell it for you. And Loose, but it's LO.OSE. So I think it's ILNEAS. I think. I'm not, or maybe it's LLNEAS and then LO.OSE. This Is Goodbye, Beautiful Human. And I wrote down, I was hearing a line from it, so I wrote it down. So the next time you face your demons, you might think that someone loved you. So you could have seen through this person's shadows. You could have had unconditional love for them despite their demons. I'm seeing that devil card, the panda. But I feel called to read to you The Most Beautiful Thought by Forrest Black. And through that song, spoken poetry, through that song you can hear birds, and I'm almost certain at the end of that song you can hear a crow, which is so symbolic. Blue jay. So I'm just going to read it for you. So if you don't want to hear it, you can skip ahead until I start getting cards. I also felt called, because of this feather, the Canadian goose feather, I felt called to grab the Lover's deck. Not the Lover's deck. What am I talking about? The Wild Unknown Tarot. Oh my goodness. I felt called to grab The Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krans. And I actually felt called to grab 3 decks by Kim Krans, which happened recently to me where I felt really called to grab her decks. So I think those are going to be the only decks we use today. Maybe at the end I'll get channeled messages depending on what comes out. And like I said, I'm going to be looking at you and your person, but I was hearing divine feminine, so maybe you are still trying to embody divine feminine energy. Maybe you're not quite there yet. But I really want to read to you The Most Beautiful Thought by Forrest Black, because like I said, that started playing right after Find Me. And I had never heard it before, and it's very moving. So it's better if you listen to it. Like, it would be much better if you listen to it. But it reminds me of like a soul bond. The year 2021 could be symbolic. That reduces to 5, which is Hierophant energy, soul contract. So 2021 could be symbolic. Like I said, it's better if it won't be as beautiful, me reading it to you. It'll be better if you just listen to it. But I felt called to read it to you. My battery's at 22% on my iPad. The most beautiful thought is the fact that I have always loved you. Even before I knew what those words meant, I knew that I loved you and that I was loved by you. Without knowing your name, where you were from, or whether you were happy or perhaps sad at times, I so deeply loved you infinitely. Am I saying that right? I dreamt in the sound of your voice and bathed in the color of your love. I sought solace in the thought that you were somewhere out there doing the same thing I was. Like how at night I would often close my eyes and lay on my back with my hands outstretched to the heavens above. It was there that I felt as though I could feel your hands in mine, our fingers interlocked with only time and space between us. And I would watch as our arms would spin in circles through the cosmos, as if hand in hand we broke through the barriers of what lies free from our understanding. Maybe it's naive of me to think that a love like this could exist, but I suppose what other option is there? I was built to believe in the impossible, and my imagination is incapable of anything less than. Every cell and fiber of my body understands this to be true, that on the other side of me there exists and has always existed you. The most beautiful thought is that maybe each and every heartbreak endured was merely a bridge to one another, or that perhaps the love I had found behind the eyes of the strangers I had met along my path were but reminders that I was one step closer to you. My love, how I have yearned for you, and the way in which I see you and feel you. This pulsating beat trapped underneath my ribs, it beats for you and you alone. Is that not proof revealing itself? I don't suppose I will ever know the answer, and I'm content in my role as an architect of answerless questions. There's beauty in that truth, and oh, the beauty of belief, the fabric on which love stands. The most beautiful thought is that you exist, that you, the equal to me in every way, exists, and that no other shall see me the way that you see me, and no other shall see you the way I see you. This is the most beautiful thought, without knowing your name, where you are from, or whether you are happy or perhaps sad at this moment. I so deeply love you, and I am so deeply loved by you, infinitely. That is the most beautiful thought. It's 101. That could be symbolic. Anyway, I just felt really called to read that to you. It's absolutely beautiful. And then, I kind of went down a rabbit hole of like those spoken poetry songs, which is why I mentioned these other ones. Also, side note, Wildfire by Forrest Black is also very good. It may not be symbolic to this reading, but I felt like I should mention that as well. So, with all that being said, let's get into your reading. So we're going to start with animal cards. Mr. Crow is outside. While I was looking at the sun break through the fog. A crow flew through the fog and you could see the trail it left. It was absolutely beautiful. Anyway. All right. For some reason, I want to look at the top card of this tarot deck. Justice. That's interesting. On some decks, justice explains a soul contract. And in this deck, it's number 8. And look at the black and white cat, the yin and yang. Justice. What's underneath that? 8 of Wands. What the heck? All right. 8-8. The 8-8 portal could be symbolic. All right, so let's look at you. First, Divine Feminine. We have the Mouse. Maybe you're overthinking right now, or you're feeling nervous. Maybe you're picking up on anxiety. We have the Sea Serpent, healing emotional wounds. So maybe you're working through some anxiety. You could be, the Sea Serpent talks about mothering yourself as well. So you could be trying to reparent yourself, healing emotional wounds. We have the Elk. That's very masculine energy. Maybe working through father wounds, healing emotional wounds from your father. And mother. Whoa, my hair. And mother. The Sea Serpent is a spiritual card as well. All right, so let's see what we got on the bottom for you. Whoa! The dragon. I love it. I love it for you. The Shark. The Truth. The Shark. Remember I was hearing shark tooth in that other reading, and now I'm hearing baby shark. Oh my gosh, get out of here. Not that I mind kids' music, but when I was a photographer, that's all I listened to because I would have kids in my studio and I overdosed on Baby Shark. All right, so the dragon, a spiritual card. And the dragon is about, it has to do with the ego. And think about it, that fear, that anxiety, that questioning yourself, that's your ego. That's your ego playing tricks on you. Now I'm hearing, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. That's beautiful. So I'm going to read it for you. It's on page 189, which reduces to 18. The fog. I meant the moon, but the fog. I mentioned the moon with the fog. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It's almost as if we were traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self. So maybe you're doing mirror work right now. When I first started doing mirror work, it was uncomfortable. Like I was uncomfortable looking at myself in the mirror. Especially if you're trying to do affirmations, like it's a good idea doing mirror work to, say affirmations to yourself in the mirror about yourself. Like, I am beautiful, or I am light, I am divine. It can be a little uncomfortable at first. So we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even if for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride as we traverse even the most difficult terrain. The dragon's eyes sees beauty everywhere. What? And I was just talking about how, and I said it in that post this morning about how there's this beauty everywhere, but a lot of us are conditioned not to see it. We're so focused on the rat race. We're so focused on... The name Ella could be symbolic. Anyway, I was saying that we're so focused on the physical world or that rat race, our conditioning, that we miss that there's beauty everywhere. There is beauty everywhere. The dragon's eyes sees beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. Maybe even just the mention of the dragon stirs the ember of intelligence within you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you could be working on balancing your ego. All right. So Divine Feminine, let's see what we need to hear for you. Divine Feminine, what energy are you currently in? Divine Feminine. That's that coin. So we have the mouse, and I mentioned the mouse. It's funny, I was hearing mouse earlier in one of those songs that mentions a mice or mouse, I think. Earth energy. So you could be feeling anxious or nervous right now or overthinking, which is what I was saying. That's your ego. Like that little mouse running that in that hamster wheel in your mind. I'm 8 of Swords. Nervous, detail-oriented. When in balanced, organized, resourceful, prepared. When out of balance, busy with no purpose. So maybe you're someone who, it's in the upright, but maybe you're someone who keeps busy or is trying to keep busy, maybe even to distract yourself. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its day fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life. I feel like this will find the right person because you could be struggling with 8 of Swords, or you could be struggling with fear right now or ego. You could be like busy with no purpose. Maybe you're so busy that you're missing the beauty in the world or the beauty of your journey or the beauty of yourself and your soul. They try to control every detail. And I was talking about divine feminine energy. So a lot of people will say they're in divine feminine energy, but they're still looking to control the outcome. They're still obsessing about the outcome, or they're still trying to control the world around them. This can be quite painful for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. And I'm thinking about that dragon. So maybe looking for beauty in 333, maybe looking for beauty. You can't actually, beauty finds you is what I'm hearing, but maybe just open your eyes to the beauty that's around you, the beautiful transformation that's happening within you, how far you've come, how much you've changed, how much you've grown, how much you've evolved. And this talks about like being busy with no purpose. So maybe you've been really busy or trying to keep busy, and maybe you need to focus your attention on a meaningful project to bring into balance, a meaningful project. I'm seeing me sitting there building Lego right now, but even something like that, or painting a picture, or journaling, or your mission. You know what? Maybe you're thinking about starting your mission. Divine Feminine, I'm going to talk about it. Maybe you're thinking about starting your mission, but you're too detail oriented and like you feel like you have to have everything just right, and you need this and you need that, and you're nervous about going after your mission until everything's perfect. But you know what I'm going to say? You can grow as you go. Just take the leap of faith and start. I just jumped off the deep end, and you were all there to catch me. I'm I'm going to get one more for you. One more for you, the energy that's around you right now. Maybe you've seen a mouse. The butterfly transformation. You're going through a period of transition right now. You're evolving, leaving your ego behind, transforming from the ego caterpillar to the light, intuitive butterfly. Maybe you're going through a transition with this relationship or with your job. This could be about you transitioning into your mission. But you're transforming, and I always say that transformation, it doesn't feel like, wow, like sunshine and rainbows, and I'm seeing, because we were talking about it, the sound of music. Like, it's not you being Maria on the hill, like, ah! But think about her in those fields. The hills are alive with the sound of music, and she's just like in awe of the beauty around her. Maybe you need more of that energy in your life. Maybe you need to watch The Sound of Music. Whoa. That came out in yesterday's reading for your person. So maybe you're going through a bit of this too. What's being removed from your life right now? What are you transitioning out of? Negative thought patterns, are they being removed or triggered so that you can finally rise above them? Are you losing friendships? Did you lose a job? What's being removed from your life right now? Because it's making you lighter. It's helping you transition. I hope this is what's being removed from your energy. That nervousness, that overthinking, that trying to control things. If your job is being removed from your life, meaningful purpose, meaningful project with a purpose, maybe it's time to focus your eye on something more purposeful, is what I'm hearing. And you guys know I talk about it. When I was in this energy, too afraid to start my channel, all of a sudden photography started getting removed from my life for like no reason. It made no sense. I was a successful photographer, but all of a sudden there were tower moments everywhere in my life. Like the plumbing in my house went. I had bill collectors after me. I had people, like, it would rain all the time, so I couldn't do outdoor photography. Or the day that I had a bunch of sessions, it would be a snowstorm, so people couldn't leave their houses. The universe removed photography from my life so that I could focus on this. And I kind of needed that panther to bite me in the ass so that I would start my channel. Like, that panther came up behind me and I was like, whoa, I'm taking that leap of faith, the fool, off the cliff right now. So I already read it yesterday, but let's read it again. The spiritual panther. Fire energy. So you could be going through tower moments, annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. So maybe you're purging. Actually, the most talks about organizing. You know, that's a good thing. If you're feeling stressed out, I'm looking around my room as I say this. Although my room's very clean, but my closet is not. One of my kids was like, your room is so clean. And I'm like, you haven't seen my closet. I recently started purging a bunch of my clothes that don't fit anymore, but they just made it into a big pile on my floor. I'm going to donate them, but I really need to do something about that. But maybe you're organizing or purging some of your stuff. You know, I believe in keeping things as much as anybody. Like, look at the stuff I collect, right? But things that are no longer useful to you, that you don't need, that you don't use, they can weigh you down energetically. So let's all clean out our closets. When in balance, brave and productive. When out of balance, destructive. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. So anything that's being removed from your life right now, there's a higher purpose for it. The panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. And a lot of us get stuck on like that hamster wheel, stagnant energy. Insert tower to wake us up or to get us moving, to get us on the right path. It pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc with the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives. And I'm seeing that soulmate card. It's not, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why is this happening? It's, where is this telling me to go? Where is it leading me? What's the message in this? What's the lesson? It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. The sun through the fog. I'm going to see if Spirit will tell me what energy you're transitioning into. The Nightingale, listen. Listen, you Nightingale. Sing Sweet Nightingale, Cinderella could be symbolic. Ever After, I love Ever After, you know that. This is about sharing your voice. This is about, like, maybe you have a throat chakra blockage, or maybe you have a message you want to share with the world, but you're too nervous to. Is Spirit removing things from your life? Are you having problems at work? Sing Sweet Nightingale. Now I got to read this card. Because it feels like there's something in you that needs to get out. Fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. Maybe you're a singer. Maybe you want to... I was talking about spoken poetry. Maybe you are into poetry. Those are like the songs that were coming through with spoken poetry. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly. This simple brown bird... Oh, also, speaking from your authentic truth, divine feminine energy, not being afraid to speak up for your needs, your expectations, not playing small, not blocking your voice. And I always talk about it, the divine feminine. When the divine feminine awakens, it starts in the upper chakras, and the divine masculine is the lower chakras. I just saw an orb. I completely distracted myself. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. We were talking about this yesterday. I have a playlist called Turtle Time, and I listen to it when I need to cry on my bathroom floor. This card indicates a need to open the bridge between the head and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. Get it out of you. Even if you're not a singer. Maybe you have, I feel like you're supposed to share your voice with the world. And divine feminine, we have missions. And a lot of people are so focused, their sole focus is on their person, their sole focus is on union, that they ignore that calling to go towards their mission. And guess what? In separation, that's when the feminine steps into their mission. Not talking about gender. That's really symbolic. All right, so what energy are you transitioning into? What energy? I'm not getting as many decks as I usually get, so I'm just we're gonna sit in the energy of this deck for quite a while. What energy are you transitioning into? Ooh, 2 came out. We have the dragonfly on the bottom. We have the octopus and the elephant. That's beautiful. So you are transitioning into an unstoppable energy, auspicious, wise, unstoppable, someone who realizes that obstacles are about redirection. And soul fire, remember the dragon card talked about the soul fire, the Agni. Ganesh could be symbolic. Overcoming obstacles, gentle, I love elephants so much. Fun fact, when I was going through my dark night of the soul, that's when I drew that elephant and that moon and that lotus. So many years ago. Feels like yesterday. The octopus. Yearning. Longing. I don't want to say, though, that you're transitioning into yearning and longing. The name Shannon could be symbolic. Hello, friend. Sorry I haven't messaged you. I'm going to message you tonight. Okay. The octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. So transitioning into a place where you can put up boundaries. And I was just talking about transitioning into an energy where you speak your authentic truth. That includes putting up boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. Begin to establish, I'm going to skip over the rest of that. Begin to establish healthy boundaries. Be patient and firm. It may be an old habit to change. When in balance, interested, engaged, intelligent. When out of balance, needy, clingy, lacks courage. To bring into balance, space to oneself, talk therapy. So maybe for some of you, you need to consider like counseling or talk therapy, or, finding more content that talks about healing. That's why I like to talk about healing so much. But establishing healthy boundaries, and this lacking boundaries and direction, you could feel like you're busy with no purpose, the mouse. So there's something about finding your direction, finding your path, and understanding that obstacles are just moving you into alignment. The elephant. Unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. Good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, stagnant, the panther, the mouse, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. So there's also a lot of self-knowledge here. And finding your flame, finding your soul spark. I searched for my spark and I found it. That song, I love that song. The one that's sang by those kids. There's a line in it like, I found my passion and I couldn't live without it. What's your passion? We're not meant to be passionateless beings. We're meant to have passion. And I'm not talking about with another person. I'm talking about inner passion, soul spark. What do you do? When do you lose track of time? That's when your soul spark is lit up, when you don't care what time it is. Why do you think my readings were so long? All right. I just want to see how you're feeling about the person that's connected to you. This is also very symbolic. You have no idea the beauty that awaits you above the water, above where the light is coming from. You have no idea what's awaiting you up there, how beautiful it can be. I talk all about dragonflies and how they spend most of their life underwater in the darkness. And then they have no comprehension of how beautiful it is up there and the fact that they can fly and there's a whole other world up there. A whole new world could be symbolic. Different perspectives. That's what's waiting for you up there. Climb up that little reed. Get on up there. Join us in the light. Not in a weird way. All right. How are you feeling about your person? The name Melissa could be symbolic. How are you feeling about your person? How are you feeling about your person? We've got the bee. I'm hearing all kind of bee jokes. Cheerleading could be symbolic. I just heard be aggressive, be aggressive. Maybe they're aggressive. They could be, this always makes me think that right now they're off doing their own thing. For how you feel about your person. This person could overwork. This person could be a workaholic, because something that I forgot to mention in that reading yesterday when I saw the bee is the bee has the tendency to overwork and then sting people when they're like overstimulated or overworked or tired. Another thing that I didn't mention or that I didn't notice in that reading, I kept seeing a payphone. Remember that? I pulled out a card with a payphone on it and I didn't even mention it. Anyway, so they could be off doing their own thing. You could feel like they're focusing on their work right now with the bee. You could also be hoping, we talk about it all the time, I do not chase, I attract. So you could be hoping that by focusing on your garden, on your flower, that you are attracting this person. Like you could be in the energy that maybe you want to attract this person towards you in the right energy. So maybe, learning to set boundaries, things like that, knowing your worth. But we always talk about that I do not chase, I attract, and the flower with the bee on it. Somebody said, I don't actually like bees, or I'm allergic to bees. I'm allergic to hornets. Can I attract hummingbirds? Yeah, you attract your hummingbirds. You attract whatever you want. But anyway, let's attract puppies. I just saw a goat. Capricorn energy could be symbolic. Why am I seeing a goat? But yeah, you could be dealing with someone who maybe they have a lot of jobs. But yeah, bees tend to work and work and work, and then they sting. So maybe you felt like this person stung you in some way. Maybe they were aggressive. I was hearing be aggressive. Look at that, sea serpent. So I feel like maybe you're nervous this person isn't healing their emotional wounds, specifically a mother wound. Brown eyes could be symbolic. And I was noticing, let me look. A card flipped over. What is it? That's what I was seeing when I was shuffling, remember? And I mentioned father and mother. That's masculine energy. The fact that it didn't come out, like maybe you feel like this person has emotional wounds they need to heal before they are going to be in this divine masculine energy. They need to be in a more stable energy, able to work as a team with you. I'm seeing the Three of Pentacles. But the sea serpent, healing emotional wounds. So this person could have a lot of emotional wounding. This is how you're feeling about them. Maybe they helped you heal some of your emotional wounds by triggering them, right? Oh my gosh, I have a kid that can read my energy, and I didn't know it until last night. I mean, I knew they were an empath. I could tell. They've been noticing angel numbers since before I even mentioned angel numbers. They're definitely an empath. Very highly intuitive. Sometimes we play this game where I'm like, tell me what I'm thinking right now. And I think of something random and they say exactly what it is that I'm thinking of. It's pretty cool, actually. But last night I was packing for my kids and they looked at me and they said, were you just feeling this way? And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, I just saw something in your energy that made me think you were feeling this way. I'm not going to say what way it was. And I'm like, stop it. Stop reading my energy. It's ironic, isn't it? Healing emotional wounds, expressing desires. That's interesting. So you could be hoping that after they heal emotional wounds, they'll be able to express to you their feelings. Maybe this is someone emotionally closed off. Oh gosh, now I didn't write it down, but this song came across my Spotify when I was getting my downloads, and I cannot find the lyrics anywhere, but it's a masculine singing it. Some of it's spoken, some of it's sung. Gosh, I'm going to need to go look that up after and write it down for you, but he was singing about emotional armor, and it really, like, you know, when I say, like, listen for songs that really speak to you, it really spoke to me. So maybe what I'll do is I'll write that down to read in another reading, because I can't find the lyrics anywhere, which is the worst. I hate when there's no lyrics. It's like, ugh, I want the lyrics. That's why I love music. I was a person that when I got a CD or a tape, remember those cassettes or records, I wanted the lyrics. I wanted to see the lyrics. I always look at lyrics. Anyway. So you're hoping that this person is being directed into a healthier energy, into a healthier current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively, sexually, emotionally, without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. This also talks about the mother. So maybe this person, like, you're hoping they're healing their mother wounds. You hope they're working on their emotional wounds. Bark, bark, bark. All right. I'm just going to keep going with you. I just feel like going with you first. Whoops. All right. So let's see. This is hard to shuffle, but I wanted to get an archetype card for you. Interesting. We have the Destroyer. Anyway, I'm going to wait for one to come out for you. Every time I say they're hard to shuffle, I shuffle them flawlessly. Hang on. Look what I got, ADHD. Look what I got. I'm going to put it, well, actually, I'm going to hang it in my room. Isn't he cute? I think it's for a Christmas tree, but I'm going to hang it in my room. Whoops. Anyway, I was just waiting for my dogs to stop barking. Please don't start. One more shuffle. The stone, green eyes could be symbolic. Specifically blue-green eyes, bluey greeny eyes. And we had the serpent, blue eyes could be symbolic. So let's cut the deck. We have the mask, interesting. I just want to look at what the mask is about. Maybe learning not to mask your true feelings, speaking from an authentic place. That's not even the right book. The mask. Unmasking. Maybe you're autistic and you're unmasking. If you don't know what that means, it's when you, I'm not going to describe it the right way, but unmasking is when you stop doing like all the things society has, you try to unprogram yourself from all the things, all the expectations society has put on you, because the world wasn't built for autistic people. Spiritual. It was when I was unmasking from, I found out I was autistic, and there was a whole thing going on where a lot of feminines specifically, because the criteria for a diagnosis was done on boys, and autism presents differently in girls, or AFABs, which is assigned female at birth. So the way that it showed up in boys was not the way it was showing up in girls. So girls they were slipping through, not getting diagnosed unless they had like really apparent autistic traits. Like me, I went under the radar. I didn't find out I was autistic until I was 35. So then when I found out I was autistic, there was like a whole bunch of people, especially feminines, who were finding out they were autistic. Hang on. to love and serve, to be a service to others. And I feel the need to say, remember, your gift is not for you. Your gift is for others. Just like I used to be able to read my own tarot cards. Now my gift is for others. I don't use it for myself. I use it for others, if that makes sense. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form, and like a healing balm to the modern soul, it affects lasts a lifetime. This card suggests that you also reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? When in light, being of service, reverence, honor, joy. When dark, spiritual bypassing, righteousness. So maybe when you're in your shadow energy, there's a bit of spiritual righteousness. Interesting. Go deeper, children's choirs from around the world. And I mentioned that I searched for my spark and I found it, which is by a child's group. Anyway, there you go. That's that one. Now, the Queen. Where is that? I can't believe I just opened up to that because it takes me forever to find these. The Queen. 1983 could be symbolic. 83 also reduces to 11. You could be 83. The Queen, the Empress, the Mother Queen, the Sovereign. This reading, oh my gosh. When in light, this is exactly the downloads I was getting. The embodiment of grace. Grace again, the name Grace, and the deer, graceful. The embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, stillness. And I mentioned sitting in stillness. When dark, vain, wrathful, righteous, demanding. Go deeper, Nikki Giovanni's ego tripping. Nina Simone singing Stars at the 1976 Montreux Jazz Festival. I'm going to go look at those after. Listen to this. The Queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne, knowing the king draws near. I speak to myself with kindness and love. That's your affirmation. Knowing that the king draws near, she is a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing less. Did you... Like my brain just went, whoa. I didn't even read it. What am I doing? That is magic. Like her counterpart, the king, the queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. And I was talking about how if you are... my person can go kick rocks and they'll never change. That's like the distorted energy of this. Anyway, that's... If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom. Okay. I don't know why I just started seeing a card with a lotus on it. Did I... It's not this one, though. I don't know. She is the lotus's bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. Divine feminine energy. She waits for the grace of God and goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. Those power tools going outside. I feel like that's what you need to work on right now. Work on embodying that energy. And now I want to look in this at the deer, because I was seeing that deer. Loving, intuitive, graceful, the mother. When in balance, receptive, compassionate, nurturing. When out of balance, concerned, protective, to bring into balance nature, children. The deer represents the feminine aspects of earth energy. This energy is available to all creatures regardless of gender, but is especially potent in new parents. During the first few days when they are fully present, nurturing, and calm, their inner beauty radiates and a sense of grace calms the room. A deer personality affects others in this way, drawing them towards a quiet tenderness. The deer card may appear when a birth or celebration of new life draws near, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. And I see a lot of people who are like, I'm a divine feminine, but they're not being gentle and compassionate. They're speaking from the distorted energy of this. It just got dark in here. I don't know if you noticed that. The sun just went completely behind the clouds. So maybe the fact that I wrote those things down and said, this is what you need to work on embodying. This is also about attracting. I'm hearing queen bee, and your person had the bee. So it's like attracting the king, the emperor, not settling for a prince. Anyway, those are your cards, my beautiful friend. So I'm going to put them back in the deck, and I'm going to put your animal cards back in the deck before I get your person, but I just want to get you some tarot cards. Whoops, that's the wrong deck. I just want to get you some tarot cards. No, I want to wait. We're going to do your person. I was also hearing wind chimes, the word wind chimes. Twin flame. Did you see that? If you rewind that, it looked like a little Orby. Somebody yesterday was like, I was talking, I'm not complaining, but I was talking to my friend about this. They were like, I hate to break it to you, but you just found that coin because somebody dropped it in your house. Please explain that to me when my children don't spend money. And I said to my friend, I'm like, you could say that about any sign in synchronicity. Oh, that feather is just there because a bird poofed it. Whoops. Because a bird poofed it out. That cloud is shaped like that because it's just a cloud. You know? It's just raining because it's raining. Okay. You can't touch me. I'm magical. Anyway, it's more fun on this side to believe in the magic, right? It's more fun over here. Come on over. Oh, we could get together and drink lemon water or coffee and watch 7 Brides for 7 Brothers and look at tarot cards. I would love to have somebody to look at all my tarot cards with. Like, look, you could come over and look. Ignore all my health food on the top shelf, but look at all those tarot cards. We could have a good time. All right. Let's get your person's energy here. Animal cards for your person. The Swan, solo time, writing. Connecting with their intuition, reflecting. The Buffalo, grounding. Taurus, I'm hearing Taurus. All right, your person's energy. Let's cut the deck. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What? Huh? Magic. The owl. They could be watching you right now. The owl, they could also be tapping into their inner wisdom, their intuition. And the owl mentions that something's on the way, a boon, a treasure, a pentacle. Balancing the ego. I'm not going to read the whole card again because I already read it for you. So if you really want to hear it again, just go back. But I'm going to look at it and see if anything jumps out to me. Seeing one's most true self. So they're starting to see themselves, glimpsing the self behind the self. So taking a good hard look at themselves in the mirror. Seeing beneath their emotional armor. I think I might have to pause it and go write down the song, the lyrics to that song. I'll do it before I get tarot. Seeing the self behind the self. Transformative fire. We traverse the most difficult terrain. Very interesting. I keep thinking of the Never-Ending Story. 1984 could be symbolic. What are the lyrics to that song? I don't know. But anyway. I already shuffled it, but look. I accidentally cut it and look at what's there. I have no idea why I did that. The swan again. So that's like extra confirmation for that swan energy. Very reflective solo time. Spending time by themselves. So your person's energy. Show me their person's energy, the divine masculine. One more. Divine masculine. What is happening here? The panther is also there. There's a lot of mirroring here. I'm going to leave the panther in there. The oyster. Oh my gosh. This person is transforming. I already know this card talks about clamming up and like hiding, retreating into their shell when they're in their darkness or their shadows. So you could be dealing with a runner. My nose hasn't been running. I did wipe it when I got emotional about whatever that was that I got emotional about. I can't remember. What was I getting emotional about? The mask? I can't even remember. But this is about like someone who's transforming but afraid to show their transformation, or they're like holding back. And I believe to bring into balance, share something. You could be picking up on this energy because this came out for you. The dragon, how, like that is insane. Insane in the membrane. It's fun in here. And that's what unmasking did to me. I used to just be like, like I just used to be you wouldn't recognize me. You'd be like, who the hell is that? Reaching, yearning, lacking direction. They could have messy relationships because of their emotional armor. What's this card? The moth, like a moth to a flame. This person could have been attracted to shiny new solutions. And what I mean by that is they could have a history of messy relationships where they just run from each relationship to the next without stopping to self-reflect and heal and to reflect on what made that connection break down. They could have just said, well, it was just that person's fault. I'll find somebody else. The grass is greener on the other side. So they could have been attracted to easy solutions. Like, I'll just walk away from this person and I'll find somebody else. This could have been like a jumper, which is a runner, but someone who jumps from one connection to the next without stopping to self-reflect and heal. Therefore, repeating a pattern in every relationship, messy relationships. Blue jay. but I feel like they're longing for your light. That queen energy, right? If you're not embodying that queen energy, that's what that queen energy, like it causes the king, the masculine, to long, to reach, to like a moth to a flame, magnetic, Queen of Wands energy, Empress energy. To bring into balance, space to oneself. So there's a lot of like space that this person is taking right now. And just because we don't understand why someone wants to take space doesn't mean it's the wrong thing. Air and water coming out for them. Yes, Mr. Blue Jay, I fed you today. I feed my birds every morning. And when I go out there, they all start whatever that noise is. One will see me come out and then they'll all start like, she's here, she's feeding us. Crows, exactly the same. Moth. The moth. Impulsive, hasty, wishful. So it's like grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. So you could also be dealing with someone with ADHD. Remember, you were seeing them as the bee, so this person could have like been overworked, always, jumping from job to job, or it's an interesting energy. It's helpful to remind moth personalities. Are you listening, Mr. Moth, Mrs. Moth, person moth, whoever you are? Not you, your person. Life is complex. No matter the illusion, no one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. Practice seeing this life as an infinite mystery rather than wishing it was easier or different. When in balance, enthusiastic and whimsical. Interesting. When out of balance, idealizes others, jittery. So, I just saw 747. That's your person's energy. I want to get one more. Oh, the oyster. So this person is transforming. Guess what card comes out right after the moth in the book? The butterfly. So this person could be transforming into that butterfly, going through a transformation. The oyster, I'm hearing spiritual transformation. Remember, balancing the ego. This, shiny and new, easy fixes, easy solutions, that's ego. Maybe they're learning how to set healthier boundaries with the people in their life. But like I said, the oyster is someone, when they feel weak, they clam up, they pull back, they retreat. Retreat! The horse in reverse. Another runner energy. This person needs to work on their stability, the beaver. They probably, twin flames, you both have a mission. But the horse in reverse, that's someone who runs away when they feel weak, when they feel triggered. Too afraid to look at themselves, the self behind the self. Why am I pointing at you? One more card for your person. I feel like there's an activation going on, because look at this card. I feel like there's a lot of activity in their head right now. So they do have the owl, watchful. They could be getting psychic downloads, but they don't understand what they are. They could be having visions of you together, but they don't understand what they are. We've also got some wounded feminine energy here with the tiger. Sea serpent, no way. And we've got the firefly. So the firefly is, they're having like these little intuitive downloads or visions. But the light, the firefly talks about, it flashes, it's a flash of inspiration, it's a flash of like a download, but if you don't grab it, The Lumineers just popped into my head. Is that a band? The Lumineers? Anyway. But yeah, the firefly, the light doesn't burn indefinitely. It flickers. So you have to grab it when it flickers. So it's like they're having these little intuitive downloads. They could be having daydreams. They could be having like, I should look at myself. I should heal. It's flickering. Their light is flickering. And then we have the owl. So I feel like they're having intuitive downloads, or they're watching you, getting little flashes of inspiration. So whatever you're doing, I feel like you're inspiring this person to work on themselves. And then very interesting energy, we've got emotional wounds and wounded feminine energy. So they could be wounding. They could be healing wounded feminine energy like mother wounds. Like I talked about that when that card came out for how you feel about them. And it's uncomfortable. This tiger, divine feminine energy, is about being at one with the stillness. There's nothing to fear in the stillness. Divine feminine energy. Not worrying about how long something's going to take or when it's going to happen or this or that. I know it's really hard. But this shows that this person isn't comfortable in the silence. They're not comfortable sitting in their own energy. That's why I think maybe for some of them they jump from connection, or this person could have ADHD. Like maybe they hyperfixate on things and then shiny and new, and then it's like, oh, that's old. But they're not comfortable in this silence, sitting in this healing that they need to do. But that's what they are healing emotional wounds, but it's not comfortable. And they're not comfortable with the quiet between you right now. I just want to look at that tiger. Fire, air, water. Overstimulated. You could definitely be dealing with someone who's neurodivergent. Yeah, there is divine feminine. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. But your person has fear right now. They could be fearful how still you're being. Let's see how they're feeling about you. Actually, I want to see what energy they're transitioning into. What energy are they transitioning into? What? The bat? Reminiscing. They're transitioning into Six of Cups energy. They're transitioning into surrendering to Hanged Man energy, surrendering to new perspectives. Can't let go, reminisces. That's what they're transitioning into. This reading could be connected to that one I did yesterday. The unicorn and the scorpion, which came out yesterday as well. So they're transitioning into reminiscing about a situation in the past where maybe somebody burned them or they burned someone else. I'm also hearing like maybe they're figuring out that they have a string of messy relationships, not just love, but friendship, family. They could be reminiscing on how they were burned or stung as a child, or where their defense mechanisms come from. But they're reminiscing about this self-defense energy. And the unicorn, for what they're transitioning into, that's divinity. That's questioning divinity, connecting to higher wisdom. High priestess energy, seeing through their own programming, perhaps. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but where is it? Where are you, unicorn? I just saw Treebeard, Lord of the Rings, reconnecting to higher wisdom, divinity. So they're transitioning into like connecting with their higher power or their higher wisdom, their higher self. A card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. Knowing that there's something deeper than just our day-to-day lives. Whoops, sorry. That's beautiful. All right, let's see how they're feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? Oh, the Fox, a strong partner or mate. Commitment, monogamy. Again, I said it yesterday, if it's in reverse, this Fox represents someone sneaky. Seven of Swords energy. In the upright, no, it doesn't represent that. I can even read it to you if you want. This is how they feel about you. So perhaps you wanted commitment or you wanted monogamy. Smart, strong partner, mate, wise teacher. That's how they feel about you. The fox is an enchanting creature with plenty of mystique to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and they make great teachers. They are quick to learn and adapt well to new situations. An ideal life partner as they commit to the relationship for the long term, and their natural charisma keeps things exciting. Fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. Foxes don't do well when they slip away. How interesting. So feeling called to reconnect with you. I'm hearing the good old days. Is that a song? Macklemore? Or is it these days? Macklemore. Good old days, these days. Anyway, the frog, releasing, cleansing, healing. You. All right, what card came out for how they feel about you? You pounced into their life and they experienced a bunch of tower moments. They could feel like they self-destructed within this connection. Like, I feel like you really triggered this person. That is really interesting. Maybe they feel like you divinely came into their life, divine intervention. And ever since they met you, it's like, tower, tower, tower. Ever since they started running from you, tower, tower, tower. I talked yesterday about how when runners run, the universe doesn't let up on them. The universe follows them, creates obstacles, creates tower moments. I remind myself that I am deserving of every good thing. So, they could also feel like you're very spiritual or you're in your spiritual power. And that if they are to come towards you, they have to remove or purge anything that doesn't align. You could also be in black cat energy. I want to get one more for how they feel about you. Leading you towards a brighter future. So this person could feel like... This person could feel that your energy is encircling them. They could feel... I definitely feel like they feel your energy, but they could feel like whatever lessons you taught them, it is leading them towards a brighter future. They're hoping for a brighter future. The zebra or the zebra. So you could be quite eccentric. You could be, I don't know why I always hear Aquarius when I hear eccentric. Or you could be autistic or just highly spiritual eccentric. We have the shark exposing true nature. That makes sense. Look at that. So they could feel like you triggered their armor or you exposed some of their true nature. And what I mean by that is shadows. That's funny. They're a little bit intimidated by you because the lion is about spiritual... A lion is dedicated to spiritual and personal growth, and that intimidates people. So they see you as someone very committed to personal growth. And if this is someone who has to grow, subconsciously that would trigger them. Just like looking back on my past experiences, the people who triggered me, it was a reflection of what I needed to work on. Like my friend who worked out all the time. I needed to work on my physical health. Or like people who were getting sober triggered me because I knew deep down that I needed to do that. Just like if you are healing, deep down they know they need to do that. And the zebra. You could travel. Sagittarius could be symbolic. Eccentric, creative, visionary. Zebras are the most precious of gems. And the gem also reminds me of Empress energy, a rare gem. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality is not only a delight, but it opens our minds. Be prepared, their potent magic is contagious. And you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work, being of service to others. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. When in balance, it's on page 143. They love you. When in balance, worldly, enthusiastic, fashion forward. What does fashion forward even mean? I don't know. My fashion is broken. I could care less about fashion, but anyway. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, vain, to bring into balance an epic adventure or art. So you could be an artist. And what I mean when I say I don't care about fashion is that I'm autistic. As long as the clothes feel comfortable on my body, that's all that matters to me. So yeah, interesting stuff here. Let's get tarot. And then we'll be done. Just a short reading. I can't do a short reading. I just can't. And I don't feel like I have to anymore. I used to feel the pressure that I should do short readings, but I don't feel that pressure anymore. I'm not here for instant gratification. I'm channeling energy. That takes time. There's, every tarot reader has a different style, and it doesn't mean that somebody else's style is wrong and somebody else's is right. Mine is more in depth. It's magical having a moderator because it's been so long since I've seen those comments. Just read the cards. But the cards are connected to energy. The cards are a tool to connect us to our own divinity. This isn't the thing this is just a tool of divinity. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Look at what's on the bottom, the Hanged Man, the bat in reverse. Hanged Man energy, new perspectives, surrendering to the silence, surrendering to limbo, I'm hearing. Because this period of limbo where you don't know what's coming, we have no control over knowing what's coming. And we've been conditioned to be that way. Think about, think back. We used to not have tracking numbers. We used to not have email. We used to not have read receipts. We used to, now with tracking, you can see where they are in your community. The driver is 8 minutes away. They're on this street. We've been conditioned to become used to having control and knowing what's going to come. But the truth is, that's not necessarily a good thing, because we can't do that when it comes to this kind of energy. Or, do you know what I mean? Anyway, 10 of Cups underneath. Period of limo. Limos could be symbolic. Limo driver. I don't know why I'm hearing that. But a period of limbo that leads to, I'm hearing emotional healing. And your 10 of Cups can't come from another person. Sometimes on these reality shows that I watch, when somebody meets somebody and they're like, I finally feel happy because you love me. And I used to be like that. But our emotional fulfillment has to come from within. And if you meet someone and you're not fulfilled or healed inwardly, and you feel that like, oh, 10 of Cups, that 10 of Cups runs out eventually, and you start to, not runs out, but to create a stable 10 of Cups, you both need to have 10 of Cups within you, if that makes sense. Anyway, you need to have your own cups filled. There's something about balancing chakras too with this. Anyway. So let's do a you and them. Since that's what we've done. But like I said, I just want to get tarot. Ace of Cups, self-love, filling up your own cup. Happiness, love comes from within, not outside of ourselves. The divine feminine knows that. The divine feminine is not seeking love outside of themselves. Cut the deck. I just heard cut it out, which is from Full House, Joey. 4 of Wands? Why am I not surprised? If there's ever a day where I stop being impressed by the magic, that'll be a sad, sad day for me. If you ever see me like, oh, 4 of Wands, something's wrong with me. 4 of Wands, the 1111 card. And 2 wands come together to make the 4 of Wands. You both need to work on your patterns, work on your stability so that when you come together, you can have a solid foundation. Somebody was wondering where my rings are from. Unfortunately, this one is from a local crystal shop. As is this one. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. As is this one. So I can't help you there. This was from Avon. Remember Avon? Do they still exist? And an ex-boyfriend's mother gave it to me when I was like 20. My rings, that's why I say my rings are all meaningful to me. They all mean something, even though I don't ever think about that ex-boyfriend. Except I am now. This ring has always, I've had it for so long. It just means a lot to me. Plus it has elephants on it. If you are interested in this ring, and I'm not pimping out rings or anything, but you always ask about my rings. This is a new one. This is an elephant spinner ring, which I got off of Etsy, which I can share the link to that if you're interested. This one is also Moonstone from Etsy. This one is Moonstone. Why am I showing you all this? This is from Etsy. It's a spoon ring. So it's the end of a utensil, and it's got a lotus on it. See? When I was in school, I would not do show and tell, and now it's like show and tell here every day. I wish you could show your things to me. But yeah, a lotus spoon ring. And then this one is a hammered ring. You can see how somebody hammered it there. And then it's got a spinner on it, also from Etsy. That's weird. Etsy crystal shop. Anyway, some of my more meaningful rings weren't fitting me, so I had to take them off. 4 of Wands on the bottom. What's underneath that? Death. So before there can be union, there needs to be transformation into your higher selves. You could have felt like you picked this connection clean. But death is about transformation. So both of you going through transitions, the butterfly, before being able to come into union. A connection, 1111, that transforms you. And then we've got the Chariot. Beautiful imagery. I love this deck. So the Chariot, this can't come into alignment or union until you're both in alignment. And that's another thing that some people don't understand. Are you truly in alignment? Look at your life. What is out of alignment? Because if it's not in alignment, how can you come into union? Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate to be... I mean, I know I'm not being harsh, but if you still have areas in your life where there's instability, then you're The name Donna could be symbolic. What is happening here? I keep hearing Donna. So that's what I mean. Like, this chariot, interesting, the chariot pulled by the black and white creatures, divine feminine, divine masculine energy, can't move along the path in unison, two opposing forces coming together to move forward until there's transformation and stability in your own life, which is why I'm always talking about your mission. Like, the people who want union, your mission is part of it. And underneath that, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is stepping into your higher self. It's transforming into your higher self. It's self-mastery. It's self-sufficiency. It's independence. It's... Where's my book? I wonder if it says something about your mission. Nine of Pentacles, that's the energy you embody right before you get the Ten of Pentacles. Achievement in career, hard work paying off, success, financial abundance, possible property purchases. Anyway. All right. Let's just do a quick you and them. My battery's dying. You and them. So you. Oh, you. All right. Well, okay. So we've got the Knight of Wands in reverse for you. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Wands in reverse. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. All right. So we're just going to go through all this energy together. So the Knight of Wands is interesting because the Knight of Wands in reverse talks about, you know, doing the internal work, but feeling like you're not quite ready to move forward. Or how can I'm just going to read it to you because that would be easier than me trying to see it in my head. Impatience. So you could be feeling a little impatient right now. Knight of Wands in reverse. You could be feeling impatient with this runner. Again, I heard to be brutally honest with divine feminines in this reading. That is not that's not an energy of divine feminine. And union, if that's what you want, can't happen until you truly are that divine feminine. Impatience. That's one of the hardest lessons of the divine feminine is patience. And I have no patience. And also a buildup of creative energy and motivation, but feels confused how to best channel it. I'll tell you what I do. Water. Water helps you channel energy, like creatively. Even when I was doing my autistic content, which came out in this reading, it was interesting. I would think about autistic content while I was like, I know that even the toughest days are only temporary. I would actually get ideas for autistic content when I was like in the shower or having a bath or when I was near water, sitting outside, grounding yourself. One thing you can do is just writing down all these creative thoughts that are coming to your mind, starting something, like actually starting, even if you keep it private, starting a creative outlet for yourself. So I used to talk about how I used to record tarot readings on my phone, not for me. They'd be for you guys, but I was like too stuck to actually post them. So I would just record them to get into the habit. And to kind of grow that creative spark. So creating like a private Instagram or TikTok and just starting to put creative things up there, even if you don't feel like sharing them with the world yet. It also indicates that you have worked hard on yourself internally. Now is the time to apply the lessons you have learned and start moving forward. Look for answers within to see how this wisdom can help navigate the impasses that you may have encountered. Eight of Pentacles, honing your skills, honing your craft, mission, work. Eight of Pentacles, 2, 3, 4, you're on the right path. Eight of Pentacles, a stepping stone to the Nine of Pentacles. Dedication, developing skills, showing talent. You are more than capable of building a career that is both emotionally and financially satisfying. This card is a positive sign to follow through with your goals. Learning new skills, honing a craft, further your education. Immerse yourself in your craft. So if you're feeling impatient about this person, immerse yourself in your creativity, immerse yourself in your craft. Remember that mouse. It talked about putting your focus on something else other than this person. Seven of Pentacles. You know the expression, time flies when you're having fun. It's true. So, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Setbacks, impatient, procrastination. Maybe you haven't been receiving a return on the investment that you've been putting into a project, job, or relationship. Maybe your career has become stagnant. Listen, we talked about it. If your career, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, has become stagnant, it's because the universe wants you to do this. And the spider is such a divine feminine energy to me. The tarantula, claiming your life purpose. Maybe you're worried about money right now. Maybe you feel like you need to abandon your craft because of financial problems. But Five of Wands is about the end of conflict is coming. You just can't see it. You don't have a tracking number, right? We're so used to like fast food and same day shipping, and the end of conflict is coming. The end of these blockages are coming. You just can't see it. What's the advice on that? End of conflict, cooperation, agreement, truces, harmony, peace. A period of conflict, disagreement, heightened stress is coming to an end. And don't get lost in the comparison game with others. So true. You're all on different paths. So what's the point of comparing yourself to someone else? Like, I used to compare myself to tarot readers that I loved. And I'd be like, that's never going to be me. No one will ever watch me. I'll never be like them. I used to watch Esoterra and I'd be in awe of how she channeled energy. And I'm like, how did you know that about me? And I would compare myself. I had to drop that ego. Because why am I comparing myself to someone who's been doing it for many, many years and is on a different path than me? The only person you should be comparing yourself to you is a past version of you in a positive way. Not, how am I ever going to be like that person? But looking back and thinking, when I think back to how I used to be, I know so much more now. I've learned so many lessons. How are you feeling about your person? How are you feeling about your person? Queen of Swords, boundaries. There could need to be honest communication between the two of you. Maybe you felt like you needed to stand in your power and put up boundaries. Maybe there's a truth that you felt like you needed to speak to them. We've also got the Seven of Cups in reverse. This person fated. You feel like this is a fated connection. Maybe you feel like there's adjustments that they need to make before you're going to let down your boundaries. Seven of Cups in reverse. So this person could have made you feel like an option. This is also clarity, though. This is about clarity and awareness. And look at these. Like, I'm hearing you could have that. The fact that all these cups are down and this one is up, you could have clarity that they're your person. In your soul, you feel it. Think about those songs. Find Me, Forest Black, the other one I read. This shows clarity, illumination about the love you feel for them. But maybe right now you know you need to stand in your power. Maybe through this connection you learned how to speak your authentic truth and put up boundaries, or maybe you didn't. Wheel of Fortune. What is blocking this divine feminine? What is blocking this divine feminine? Blocking the divine feminine. We've got the 9 of Wands, so you feel like you're on an uphill battle. You'll feel like you'll never get there. You're wounded and weary from battle. But keep going. You're almost there. Imagine you're up all those steps and then you quit right before you get to the top. Ten of Cups. External factors affecting this connection. There's external things happening and you could be internalizing it that it's you or that it's something you're not doing. The Wheel of Fortune, right? You both have different wheels. Just because your wheel is turning, theirs might be stuck and then you have to wait for their wheel to turn. So what's blocking you, what's blocking this connection are external circumstances out of your control. My forehead's all tense again. I should find a photo of me from years ago and show it to you. You'd be like, who the fuck is that? Separation, isolation. So you could be isolating yourself right now, but you could be too focused on the separation. External forces affecting the connection that you have no control over. There could also be you need to find personal fulfillment and a sense of happiness in your own life. Take a step back and reassess what truly brings joy and meaning. It's time to address any underlying issues and work towards finding balance and harmony in all areas of life. So there could be things in your external world that are blocking you right now. And I'm hearing more inner healing required. But a big one I'm hearing is that this person has stuff going on that you have no control over. So all you can do is release it and trust that if it's meant to be, it'll be. Sit on your throne, that queen. Giving up, so you could be really feeling like giving up. That could be blocking you right now. I'm hearing test of faith. You are closer than you think to a positive outcome. Maybe you feel like you're in the middle of the woods and you cannot see the finish line. Remember the fog and the light. You're closer than you think. You may be confining yourself with limiting beliefs. Maybe you're feeling that life is against you and has dealt you a bad hand. That mindset, that's not divine feminine mindset. You're so close. Don't give up now. Limiting beliefs about your mission, perhaps. I was supposed to take those. 9 of Wands was on the bottom. Let's see your person's energy. Actually, no, I want to stay on you for a minute, even though my battery's dying. What can you do to turn this around? What can you focus on right now? What should you be focusing on right now? Queen of Wands. Yes! Your creativity. Focus on your glow up. Rescuers Down Under could be symbolic. Joanna? Just popped into my mind. Joanna, Rescuers Down Under. I think she was the lizard. Anyway, focus on your creativity. Focus on standing in your power, shining your light, your connection to spirit, your confidence. That's what you can focus on right now. Beautiful. The queen energy. And please know I'm saying all this with love in my heart for you, not judgment, not you should be doing better, you're not doing enough. That's the furthest thing from my mind right now. Work on your confidence, being more self-assured, passionate, determined, optimistic. That's something that's blocking you is lack of optimism. Focus on your independence and your courage. This card symbolizes the growth that takes place along the journey. And what did I say about those geese? I talked about the long journey. And we have the Five of Cups. So this is about looking at the cups that are spilled, focusing too much on the cups that are spilled and not enough on the cups that are still standing. And what's funny is in this card, all the cups are standing. So focusing on healing past wounds, definitely, Five of Cups. But not focusing on the cups that are spilling. It's like there is an expression for the Five of Cups. Don't cry over spilled milk. And I'm not saying that to invalidate your feelings, but the past is the past. You still have cups standing here. So, loss, self-pity, regret. You may be going through a challenging experience. It's okay to feel negative emotions and give yourself space for grieving. However, it's also a sign not to wallow in self-pity, as things may not be as bad as they seem. And light at the end of the tunnel. You are already on your way to recovery from past wounds. So keep healing old wounds, emotional wounds, remember. Job loss leading to a better position. So if you've lost your job, divine intervention, or if you feel it slipping out of your grasp, divine intervention. Practice self-forgiveness. Work on your self-love. Look at this. Work on your self-love. And just like that Queen card talked about, you need to embody this Queen energy, no more princes, to attract the King. Look at what's right underneath that. The King of Wands. All right, let's get your person's energy. I'm going to run out of battery. Show me the Divine Masculine's energy. Oh, Son of Cups. That is a prince. Interesting, because I just mentioned the Queen and the Prince. So this is someone who has romantic feelings for you. They're thinking about romantical feelings right now. They could still be in a little bit of immature energy right now. And if you are meant to be the Queen attracting only the King, and you're wondering, where is this person? You're not meant to attract the Prince. They're still in Prince energy. We've got the Six of Swords. So your person is transitioning into calmer waters. They're in a transitional period. Hopefully transitioning from a prince to a king, and I'm not talking about gender. Those are the energies that are coming out. Yes! Yes! What I wrote down. So the next time you face your demons, you might think of someone that loved you. My plant just moved when I said that. So they are transitioning out of lower vibrational energy. They are transitioning out of devil energy, away from unhealthy patterns. But you are meant to be attracting a king. They're still in night energy. And, you know, Knight of Pentacles. So another prince. Two princes here. My forehead, stop. It's just like... Didn't I say a goat? And I said Capricorn energy? Anyway. So they're transitioning out of this. So it's not time for them to come in. What's blocking? External influences their wheel. So remember that. I don't want the prince, I want the king. Let's see how they're feeling about you. Five of Swords in reverse, wanting reconciliation, wanting to make amends, wanting to overcome arguments, to stop self-sabotaging this connection. That's so, like, look at the similarities. Oh. How they feel about you. They want to come home. They want to overcome. There's a lot of fives here. Five, five, five. Change. Which usually happens on your own. This is about wanting to overcome challenges, wanting to overcome adversity. This is about wanting to be welcomed when they come back. This person feels like they need to make positive changes before they come back to you trying to make amends. Because maybe in the past, the moth, they just came in and were like, oh, my bad. Let's try again. And then they were quick to disappear again. They know they have to change this. Oh my gosh. For how they feel about you, 4 of Wands, coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Listen to that Find Me song. I will find you. I will find you. I will find you. 4 of Wands, commitment, marriage, wedding, celebration, reunion, death, transformation. So this person knows they need to go through a transformation before they come back. They want a rebirth here. I'm kind of hurrying because I'm like on the edge of dead phone. I'm on the edge of a dead phone. Look at how they're feeling. They're feeling the same as you. One more for how they're feeling about you. Father of Swords, the Hierophant. You hold the key to their heart. Marriage, commitment, spiritual advisor, mentor, teacher. I'm just hurrying a little at the end because I'm running out of battery. Like really, I think I have 3% left or something, and I really don't want to get cut off. They know they need to come forward with truth and clarity. They know they need to come in as the king. They have truth and clarity about you. You could have higher standards now. Not a bad thing. Your standards could be commitment. So they know they need to come in king energy, ready to commit. What's blocking them? They could feel like they're running out of time the way that I feel right now. What is blocking them? 3 of Wands. 6 of Pentacles. So they could need to still be, what's blocking them? There's been delays and progress when it comes to equal give and take. So if this person can't provide balance and consistency, that's definitely blocking them here. Lack of equal give and take and reciprocity. If they can't give it to you, I feel like they're being guided not to come forward until they show growth in that area. Imbalance of energy. Yeah, King of Pentacles. It could even be their job or something in their material world. External factors that have nothing to do with you. Delays in their material world. Maybe even counseling. Like needing counseling. What are they working on right now? What are they working on right now? Eight of Wands. Working on communication. There's some sort of communication that they're working on right now. The Swan, writing, journaling, solo time. They're working on progress and growth right now. The Hierophant, learning spiritual lessons, reflecting about commitment. Again, there could be counseling here. Maybe what they're working on is communication with like a therapist or something towards you. That's what they're working on. I'm just going to look at their intentions. Like this is more of an energy check than anything else. What are their intentions towards you? 7 of Swords in reverse. Setting the record straight, coming clean, the end of games, the end of lies. The Hanged Man. New perspectives. They want to show you a new perspective. That's interesting. Knight of Swords. Oh my gosh, I heard an example of the Knight of Swords last night that just committed to change. They're committed to showing you a new perspective of them. Committed to changing the way they handle things. New perspectives about their own Knight of Swords behavior. So impulsiveness. Didn't they have the moth, impulsive, haste? So their own Knight of Swords behavior, their fear of commitment, their emotional armor. The Knight of Swords is about communication. It's about sending a message. Healing, yes. So their intentions are to heal these things before coming in. But this person has a lot they want to say to you, Knight of Swords. That's a lot. All right, future action. We'll just ask. Future action. We have 9 of Cups here. We have, listen, we've got, that was in reverse. I picked it up upside down. 9 of Cups, 5 of Swords in reverse. That is wish fulfillment, success, and reconciliation, making amends. Page of Swords on the bottom, communication. Ace of Swords, communication, breakthrough moment. So please trust in that. Don't overthink it. Don't wonder about when it's going to happen. Focus on your mission. Focus on your hobbies. Trust in it. What do you need to trust in? Last question, because battery gone. What do you need to trust in? When it comes to this connection, what do you need to trust in? That is so interesting. The Tower in reverse. So you need to trust in your own internal change and the internal changes they're making. You need to trust that this ending, this Tower moment was inevitable. Trust in the Tower moments that are happening for you. Trust in the ones that are happening for them. That there's foundational shifts happening here. Tower in reverse. One more. What do you need to trust in? What do you need to trust in? Justice. Exactly. There's a new beginning coming. And if you've been wronged, you're going to get your justice. Things will come into balance. I'm hearing you and this person will come back together again. Also, side note, if you love Naked Moon, I love her. She's like, I love her, but I just wanted to mention this. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but sometimes her and I will randomly wear the same color. And I was thinking about it the other day. She sits on that side of her table. I sit on this side. She's from Australia. I'm from Canada. She has a black cat. I have a white cat. Anyway, I just find that synchronicity a little... Her and I have a lot of synchronicities like that. Anyway, I feel like we were sisters in a past life or something. But justice will be served. The scales will balance. Trust in that. All right, I'm going to go. But I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. My friends, I know I ended this reading, but after I ended it, shortly after, it was like an hour after, I realized that I didn't get archetype cards for your person. So I pulled some archetype cards and I was just going to post them with the explanations of what they meant, but I felt really called to come back on and explain them. So I know you just watched the reading, so we don't need to go over these cards again. These cards are for me, for when I'm looking at these cards about your person. So I'm just going to lay them out here while I talk about them. Because like I said, I forgot to get the archetype cards for your person. I was so focused on you. I'll just keep these over here and we'll refer back to them. So the first card that came out for your person was the Kiss. And one of those, I think it was one of the, where's my thing? My Most Beautiful Thought by Forrest Black. I'm pretty sure there was something mentioning hand holding in that. So this is your person's energy right now. The kiss, the touch, the chemistry, the sex. And just, I filmed your reading hours ago and I wanted to post it, but first I wanted to get these archetype cards. And just so you're aware, my dogs are really worked up right now and 3 of my kids are playing downstairs and they're being really loud. So hopefully that's not too distracting. So this is about the touch, the chemistry, the sex. When light, sensual, expressiveness, merging, inviting. When dark, neediness, pressure, dominance, disrespect. So this person could have even disrespected you in some way. The year 1963 could be symbolic. But the kiss is a heightened sensation of merging with other, of letting in what was moments ago separate, to become one. It is risky but beautiful business. These moments forever change us as we move past the solitary self towards union and acceptance. This card suggests that true intimacy is around the corner, which requires bravery and surrender. And they have Hanged Man energy, which is about surrender. Wherever it was, there it is. So you will recognize the presence of the kiss by cold chills and an awakening of the heart. So right now it feels like your person is going through some sort of heart awakening, which makes sense. They're going through some sort of transformation. It's really interesting. I'm just trying to get back into their energy here. Like I said, that reading I was so focused on you. So here are the rest of the cards that came out. We have the box, and this one is really interesting because I remember talking to you about how self-limiting beliefs could be blocking you right now. And this is about self-limiting beliefs. This is about someone trying to fit inside of a box. It could have to do with other people's expectations of them. But let's look at it. Oh my gosh, my kids are so loud. I mean, during the daytime, they're pretty quiet, but they're all kind of doing their own thing. But right now, they're all together. 151. The box, the cage, the rules, the norm. When in light, structure, order, coherence, logic. And they do have the King of Swords in their energy. When dark, limitation, rigidity, judgment, fear. And this talks about, this archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected. It holds us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. And they had the Three of Wands, which is about their vision for the future. And they're seeing you as the Four of Wands. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. So it feels like this person has been limited or had limiting beliefs at unconscious levels. Maybe they're not aware of it. It is built of a layer upon social constructs and pressures. So there could be some sort of social twin flames that's very common. There could be some sort of societal expectation about this connection, age, distance, difference in religion, pressure from family and friends. Breaking through the confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or simply to stay small. There is a box around you made of some type of confining thought. So your person is trying to overcome some sort of limiting belief or confining thought. What is it? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will present itself to you. Keep going, break through. An exquisite life requires it. So your person trying to break out of this box, trying to break out of who they used to be, I'm hearing. We have the Tear, and we also have the Ocean, and the Ocean is one of my favorite cards. And eyes could be symbolic here. We kind of have green eyes, blue eyes. And remember the healing emotional wounds. Maybe, you know, I talk about the Devil card a lot. They have the Devil in reverse for their energy. So this person is breaking out of the limitations or the unhealthy patterns that keep them stuck. Remember when I was talking about that Panda card yesterday, the Devil card, about They keep us, our shadows keep us chained. So right now your person is trying to break out of this box, break out of the limiting beliefs. And there is an emotional release here with the tear and the ocean, and wanting to make amends because they have the Five of Swords here, wanting to make amends, we also had the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Now I see it over there. I forgot to pick it up with the wilted rose. So this person wants to overcome adversity, wants to be welcomed home here. Like I said, they're right now, what they're working on their future vision and moving towards that. And also communication. They're working on some sort of communication. So let's look at the tear and the ocean. Again, I know this is weird because I just couldn't leave this without grabbing them some cards. The tear. 169. And then the ocean is where? 133. So 133, 169. 133, let's see if I can remember that. My brain's a little broken. I was just finishing math with one of my kids. The unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. When in light, deeper than deep, big dreams, discovery. When dark, subsumed, drowned, polluted, unpredictable. So this person could have been quite unpredictable. This is the ocean. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, remember I was talking to you about stepping into the unknown, taking that leap of faith towards your mission. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It regrets our every attempt to dominate nature, yet amid its overwhelming power calls to us. Inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us, the lower version of this person, remember that devil card, into the big us, the higher version of them. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is a change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. And they have death here, transformation. The ego must dissolve. And remember, they had just like you, they had the dragon about balancing the ego, glimpsing the self behind the self. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, the deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth, a new being. Life is change, let the waves crash. So I feel like this person with the tear in the ocean, they're clearly sitting in their emotions, and this kiss is about the awakening of a heart. And when you have a blocked heart chakra, it's hard to dig deep into those emotions. Last one, 169, I remembered. My dogs, oh my gosh. The morning, the release, the rain. When in light, melody, melancholy flowing through. When dark, drowning, drama, murkiness. Tears are droplets of letting go. The Hanged Man, release. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or a situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. So the kiss talked about intimacy and vulnerability. And I feel like this person had a fear of intimacy or had that emotional armor. Some say that the tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. So this person's ego is being softened. You know, when you think about it, when someone's in their ego, they're very cold, they're very hard, they're very, I'm hearing jaded. They're very protective because our ego is trying to protect us. But through this heart awakening, through this emotional release, My kids, oh my gosh, they're so loud. I know they're only bugging me right now. I know you guys are going to be like, it's okay. But I find it hard to channel when there's a lot of noise and distraction. So through this emotional release, it's actually softening their ego. I'm hearing dissolving the ego. Through our watery eyes, the ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we are reminded of their internal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that once acknowledged will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and read those archetype cards that I pulled for your person because I felt they were very symbolic. And I'm going to be honest, as soon as this card came out, and ever since, I've had the song, I think it's Last Kiss by Taylor Swift, like playing constantly in my internal jukebox there. So they could be thinking about the last time that you kissed them. There could be a memory about hand holding here. But look at this, like by releasing that emotion, by allowing that, like this person by allowing themselves to grieve you, it's opening up their heart chakra is what I'm hearing. Maybe this person, you know, had that belief, especially if they're a masculine, and now I am talking about gender, or if they had a very unemotional parent. Like some people believe that to cry or to show emotion is a weakness, so they wear that emotional armor. Anyway, this is good energy for them to be in. And I just wanted to come on, like they had the octopus as well, yearning, reaching. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and give you those cards. And I'm going to leave you now. I just couldn't walk away. I couldn't leave it unfinished. And maybe that's kind of how your person is feeling, like there's something unfinished here. But anyway, thank you for your patience with the dogs barking and the kids being loud. And as always, my beautiful friends, I am sending you lots of love and light, and I hope you have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.